knowing that audio was probably going to come out along with additional tapes, whether they be video or audio is unclear at this particular moment in time, Shannon Sharpe felt compelled to come out in his own defense. In my perfect world, he moves on. And somehow, some way, we find this all to be false. But it doesn't seem like that's the way things are about to go down, considering who Mr. Busby is.
Football Hall of Famer and broadcaster Shannon Sharpe says he's stepping aside from his job at ESPN in light of new allegations. On Sunday, a woman filed a $50 million...
I might choke you in public. Big black guy choked small white woman.
You sharing text messages, that's just sharing too much. We didn't want to hear about nobody getting hogtied in your bedroom and your salad getting tossed while you wearing a collar. It's too much.
Shannon Sharpe, a name synonymous with football greatness and sports commentary, suddenly saw his world come crashing down. One minute he was a staple on national television, the next, facing accusations so explosive they threatened to erase decades of carefully built legacy. But how did a Super Bowl champion and Hall of Famer end up in the middle of a firestorm that shocked the sports world and beyond?
That can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young, and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't.
It's a sad situation. Shannon Sharpe is somebody I work with a couple of days a week. Shannon Sharpe is somebody that I brought to ESPN. To be clear, even though this podcast, this YouTube show is owned and operated by me solely, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be dismissive of ESPN, who employs me in my daytime job on First Take. So I sit here before you today letting you know that they are aware that this is a subject that I was going to broach, because I owe them that courtesy. I am the executive producer of First Take on ESPN. I recruited Shannon. I went and got him and brought him to ESPN. But I'm not the boss. Those are other folks. There are layers to this, and there are certain layers even I am not on. I can tell you, I also spoke to co-chairman of Disney, the boss, Jimmy Pitaro, who made it very, very clear we are taking this matter very seriously, and we are looking into this very, very closely. In my perfect world, he moves on. And somehow, some way, we find this all to be false. But it doesn't seem like that's the way things are about to go down, considering who Mr. Busby is and how emphatic his client is proclaiming that she is right and she's telling the truth. I have no idea what direction ESPN and Walt Disney will go in when it comes to this matter. All I do know is it won't be me making a decision. It'll be others upstairs. In the end, all of us have someone to answer to. No matter how maverick we try to be, and we own our own business, and we're our sole proprietors like I am on this platform and stuff like that. There are advertisers, there are sponsors, there are people you do business with, there are partners, and there are bosses. That's the situation, unfortunately, that Shannon Sharpe finds himself in.
36-year-old girl. I know. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old and get your old out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Told you. I told you. I told you. You ain't tell me.
It all started with a number, 50 million. a massive civil lawsuit was filed in Nevada targeting the sports icon. The accuser, a woman named Gabriela Zuniga, leveled claims that immediately sent shockwaves. While the details were just beginning to surface, the sheer amount demanded and the identity of the defendant made it clear this wasn't just a minor dispute. It was a full-blown crisis brewing, hinting at much deeper, darker allegations waiting to be exposed. The lawsuit alone was enough to grab headlines, but the real damage was about to come from unexpected places.
We didn't want to hear about nobody getting hogtied in your bedroom and your salad getting tossed while you wearing a collar. It's too much. Well, at what point do you say you just too old? He like that old grandfather that every time he come around, he want to tell you about all the women he got. And when everybody else is talking, he want to talk like he's still in his 20s and he hanging out with the young folks. Pack it up. You just too freaked out at your old age. And we don't want to know about, we truly don't want nothing to do with it. Please, why didn't you just share that in the courts? Share it with the lawyers. Why did we need to see that? Sick of it.
Because the lawsuit wasn't just about money. It came bundled with alleged evidence that painted a disturbing picture. Reports emerged of leaked text messages and audio recordings, allegedly involving Shannon and the accuser. The content wasn't just personal, it was reportedly sexually explicit and included deeply unsettling themes, particularly centering around alleged race play. While the specifics remain murky and debated, the mere existence of these alleged conversations, some described as having an apparent race fetish dynamic, was enough to ignite public outrage. Adding fuel to the fire, an audio clip surfaced where, according to reports, Shannon can allegedly be heard making a chilling statement about potentially choking the woman, even in public. These leaked receipts weren't just embarrassing, they were potentially devastating to his image and career. And what those messages revealed was only the beginning of his undoing.
This party started. Lay it on me.
Get your black over here, buckwheat.
Okay, come straight out the gate with it.
Yeah,
All right.
I know that's what you like to be called, ain't it? Buckwheat. Now stop flapping them gigantic lips and using
Oh,
them where
yeah,
they're
that
supposed
one
to
in the
use to,
tub.
not talking to their superiors. I see you shucking and jiving out in them fields, and I want a piece. That's all you're
Why
good
you saying it
for,
with so much
a piece
conviction?
of meat. You walk like you be wading in the water. Ooh, if my daddy and his friends saw you,
Does
or
he
they
really
take
think like
you
that?
out so quick,
Cause he be looking at me.
I know you want some of this fat back that I got.
No,
Make your lips all greasy, I know.
I think
What's
I'm
the
good
matter?
on this.
I thought we was just race playing.
See
I
myself.
thought you liked it.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine.
His highly visible television career vanished seemingly overnight. Shannon Sharpe announced he was stepping aside from his duties at ESPN amidst the escalating scandal. He framed it as a temporary leave, hinting at a return. Yet, whispers from inside the network told a different story. Insiders reportedly claimed Shannon didn't step away by choice. He was pushed out hard. ESPN, a major entity owned by Disney, a company fiercely protective of its family-friendly image and brand, was reportedly not willing to associate itself with allegations as disturbing and potentially litigious as these. Once the lawsuit and the nature of the alleged evidence hit the public domain, sources suggested the decision was swift. While ESPN might have allowed Shannon to announce it on his own terms to save face, the reality, according to reports, was that his position there was no longer tenable. It seemed the gravity of the situation was far greater than any temporary pause could fix. Even before any of this blew up publicly, there was a desperate move reportedly made behind the scenes. It was claimed that Shannon Sharpe allegedly tried to silence his accuser with a substantial payment. Reports suggest he offered millions to prevent the lawsuit from being filed and the alleged evidence from becoming public knowledge. If true, this suggests Shannon was acutely aware of the potentially explosive nature of what might come out. It paints a picture of someone trying frantically to control a narrative before it spiraled out of their grasp. However, the accuser reportedly didn't accept the settlement, opting instead to proceed with the lawsuit. It seems someone was trying to bury secrets, but the shovel wasn't big enough, and the truth, or at least the allegations, were about to crash into the daylight. As the scandal unfolded, others in the media had their say, and the reactions were mixed but telling. Stephen A. Smith, Shannon's colleague at ESPN, publicly addressed the situation, expressing concern, but in a manner some interpreted as barely contained schadenfreude. While maintaining a somber tone, some viewers felt his commentary hinted at a deeper understanding of the consequences of reckless behavior, delivered with a slight edge. And eerily, some people were apparently warning him about this possibility years ago. Comedian Cat Williams, during a now infamous interview, made what some now view as prophetic comments about the dangers of relationships with younger white women, possibly leading to trouble for wealthy black men. Similarly, Monique reportedly advised Shannon to seek a partner closer to his own age, warning about the potential pitfalls of significant age gaps. These past warnings, circulating again online, added a layer of...
And just one more thing about Mr. Sharpe. Not so sharp, clearly. It is my theory, just my opinion, my theory, not fact, my opinion. I think all of this RACE rhetoric that was in those text messages started with him. It started with him. It's becoming more and more clear to me, in my opinion, that he has a race fetish. He has a fetish for that type of dynamic. Think about it. This was a 19-year-old white woman when he met her. I don't know any 19-year-old white woman that's running around hollering about a big black baby and baby gravy. Shannon was a 54-year-old big black grown man from the backwoods of Georgia. Gravy sounds like some he's familiar with. Big black babies, he probably seen a few in his day. Born in the backwoods of Georgia where he grew up with his grandma and all them other folks. But I just don't think that came from her. Now, is she repeating it back in those text messages? Yes, that's why he released her messages, not his. Peep that. Okay? We haven't seen what his responses was. And I guarantee you, when they post those messages, y'all gonna see. All of that race started with him. It's a fetish. And he could only play that kind of stuff out with a young girl. He couldn't, like Monique was trying to tell him, get an older gal. Older gal ain't going for that. They was going to immediately know he was a freak and a weirdo. A 19-year-old don't know no better. That's why she repeated it back to him, because he said it to her first. Older men, that's why they tend to want to be with younger women. They're more impressionable. They can mold them. They can shape them to be what they want them to be. Do what they want them to do. You let him come to a 40 or 50-year-old woman talking about put a big black baby and baby gravy. We're going to be looking like, what's wrong with you? Yeah, that started with him. Mark my words. It's going to come out. But that race stuff started with Shane.